Hello, Moral Gibbs, and welcome to Speaking of Everything. When I come back, you'll meet my guest. Let me tell you about the sponsors. Windward Islands Bank in Phillipsburg, Cul-de-Sac, and Simpson Bay. For all your banking needs is the Windward Islands Bank and GEBE, Local Water and Electricity Company. GEBE, serving St. Martin for over 6 decades. And I'm Moral Gibbs here with you on Speaking of Everything, and Mr. Elton Jones is here with us. How are you doing, Mr. Jones?
Feel very well, thanks, and a blessed Tuesday to you.
Well, it's good to have you here. It's been a while, over a year I haven't seen you.
It's been a good while, and there are many things happening out there that we could tap on, but
right. Tonight is
I
different.
want to speak sports a bit.
Definitely, that's sports. I was looking at the post. I'm impressed with this big event that's coming up.
Well, it looks impressive. It's a lot of work has been put into it. Back in February this year, Bobby Otley and I, we got together. We wanted to put up a card, but we have the experience in boxing, but the other things we haven't been much around. We were introduced to Mr. Jason Fraser of Trinidad Rough and Tough Promotions.
Uh-huh.
He is the president of the Pan American region for mixed martial arts. And we decided to put a card together. We want to introduce to St. Martin, to the local population, mixed martial arts, something that isn't done here. We have a good idea of boxing and kickboxing because we've done that. And thanks to our contacts, we were able to get Mr. Jason Fraser on board. Mr. Fraser comes with a load of experience, having held these events in Antigua, Trinidad, Barbados, throughout the Caribbean. So we thought we can, piggyback on him and get this done. What we're doing in this evening is the first time this has been done here. We're going to hold a card with 3 disciplines of martial arts. We have boxing, kickboxing, and mixed martial arts. We will be presenting a card with 20 fights, boxing 3, mixed martial arts 7, and kickboxing 10. The icing on the cake for this is that in kickboxing and mixed martial arts, we'll be having an international championship. So we have an athlete from St. Martin going up against an athlete from outside in each of those disciplines. The idea when we started was to have St. Martin match up against the world. So St. Martiners will not fight St. Martiners, will fight people from outside, and we get a chance to look at what we have and where we need to build from. So we have heading the card for kickboxing will be Mr. Mikey Telemakis from a gym on the French side, and he'll be fighting against John Grenville from Curacao for a championship. And then
What kind of fight is that?
That is kickboxing.
Okay.
And in mixed martial arts, we have Akeem Lewis. For his camp is right here in Cold Bay. He'll be fighting Mr. Castell from the USA. So those are the championship fights. And we have many more fights on the card. What is very important for us is that people make an effort to get there on time. We open the gates at 6 p.m. And we hope to start the program at 7. Why it's important to start on time, we are televising these and live streaming it out to the world. We hope we have coalesced with the St. Martin Tourist Board and the Minister of TIAT. And the idea is to reach as many people as that because we want to highlight St. Martin as a sports tourism destination. With this card, with the companies we have coming to film, we hope we can reach about 150 million eyes around the world.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. We're going to be televising to Africa. So we have on board Sports Africa. We have US Sports and Euro Sports. And for the Caribbean region, we have a company out of Barbados. And locally here, they're hooked up to YTN to be able to carry it through the entire Caribbean. So it's going to be quite an event, but time is of essence. We have to have it done right. And of course, we would like the people to come out and support. We have started back in February. We had already set 2 dates to have this done. Every time we had to move the date because we were busy looking for a venue, a suitable venue. If you want to highlight St. Martin what it has, you have to find a place that is, acceptable enough to make a first impression on the world of who we are and what we do. And we had problems getting a venue. Our first choice was the Carnival Village, but then that couldn't come true because you're filming and have these people contracted. You have to look at the possibility of rain coming down, spoiling the show. So that fell out. Then we asked to use the tent at the port, but it was August and they were busy taking down because of the hurricane season. So we moved it to December. We got quite some challenges also moving to December because it's the tourist season and travel and hotel, everything becomes, besides being more expensive, it's not readily available anymore. Everything is full. So we have gone to quite some lengths, and I must say we have the support of the government to bring this card off, and we are pleased for what we were able to put together thus far.
All right, so this is you bill it as an international event, right?
It is an international event.
And it's going to be held at?
It's going to be held on the 3rd of December, Saturday upcoming, at the L.B. Scott Sports Auditorium.
But isn't that place too small for an event like this?
Well, we have looked at the seating we have available. We're selling tickets on the K-Band app.
Yeah.
And we're selling also at certain outlets.
Oh, okay.
But we're monitoring to make sure we don't overload to have problem with the fire department. But a lot of people is going to come out, and I think we'll be able to control the crowds. I'm not really worried about the size of the auditorium. What worries me in the auditorium is the temperature when it's full. And we're trying to get some blowers and some stand-up air conditioning to try to cool it down. And that is, we have identified 2 that we can use, and we hope that would help.
Okay. Now, for people who don't understand, because St. Martin people are into boxing, and Mr. Arte has been promoting
forever.
A lot. Exactly. So when it comes now to the mixed
martial
arts and the kickboxing, for some of us.
Well, we have a kickboxing champion here, Mr. Marco London.
Right.
I
had him on the show years ago.
He's been in that for a while. Now he's retired. He's training people. But people understand kickboxing. Mixed martial arts is a whole other thing. Mixed martial arts has everything in it. It has kickboxing, it has judo, it has jiu-jitsu, it has wrestling. That's why it's called mixed. And there are very few things that are illegal in mixed martial arts. So it's full contact, and that's why the requirements are so much different. For mixed martial arts, you have to have 2 doctors available, 2 ambulances. The idea is if somebody will get hurt, you'll be able to take them away. You still have somebody left at the venue. And you can only do this with professional judges and arbiters, because a guy have to recognize the danger when something happens to be able to stop the fight so somebody don't get seriously injured.
So you're all going to have 2 ambulances support?
Yeah. It's required by the international. We are sanctioned by the international bodies, so you got to make sure those things are there. But we are bringing in because we have no referees and judges for this discipline of sport. We're bringing them in. We're bringing in the professionals so we can give some idea of safety in the sport. But it's quite some entertainment for the local people. And MMA is the sport that the young people follow now, or UFC.
Yeah.
It's the big thing going around. And I think it's going to be quite an entertaining evening for St. Martin.
We know St. Martin has hosted some big fighting. Back
in boxing, we held a championship here after '95 hurricane.
Yeah.
That was super.
Yeah. So and I think our people are into this kind of thing. They love boxing.
St. Martin people like boxing. It's unfortunate that it went down to a low after a while because promoters fell out, and then many camps that you had before just closed down.
Yeah.
But there are a few springing up around the Dutch side again, and on the French side there are about 3 that I know. So it looks like it's coming back. But they have mostly amateurs now. You have to get them to go over to the professional arena so we could start holding these bouts again. But on this card, we have 3 boxing matches. There are people who are just becoming professional now, so it just meets the level to put them on.
And they're from St. Martin?
They're from St. Martin.
And so it will be St. Martin's fighting St. Martin and on those matches?
No St. Martin's fight. We have matched them up with outsiders. The matchmaker, he couldn't be here today because some people start coming in and we're picking them up at the airport.
Oh, okay.
But Jason is doing the matchmaking. What we decided to do, not only by weight, so equal weight, but we want equal experience. So you don't want somebody with 10 fights against somebody with one fight, or you don't want somebody 30 years to fight somebody 17.
Glad to hear that, yeah.
So we're matching it up, and it takes quite some time, but I think we have done a good job. We don't have anybody overweight, match up with somebody else. It took us a long time, but I think we were able to put it through or to deliver what we did.
Because I remember the Wilfredo Benitez from Puerto Rico. He made it in St. Martin, actually.
He started his career here, yeah,
and became world known,
world champion.
Yeah.
We started here. We produced a lot of the fighters. The Puerto Ricans used to like to come here. Most of them come here and start their career, and then they move on to the USA and stuff like that. Boxing back then with the promoters, we had Ivan Lake and Mr. Chewy Chopating and some others.
Right.
It was really good back then.
So with this big card happening on the 3rd of December, right?
Yes.
You expected more?
Well, the idea, this is basically an introduction. We're hoping to hold this more times a year, but only once a year, a championship like this one. But we hold more events in a year. We hope to have 3 events in a year. And we want to take it also to the north side, because the north side is interesting. They have more mixed martial arts fighters than we have, and kickboxers.
Really?
So they want to have it held over there. So we're going to try and accommodate that also. But the idea is to hold at least 3 events a year, inviting people from outside, and it gives us a chance to really promote our young people in the sport also. A program that they have introduced in Trinidad that I'm very hooked into. I hope that we could get it down here. About a few months ago in Trinidad, they have identified a few problem kids and turned them over to the organization Rough and Tough that trains kids to introduce them to this. The feeling is that they have a lot of energy that they use wrongly, and if you could have it disciplined, you might be able to produce or save a few of them. One of the young kids they had became an Pan American champion in the region, and he has now become the example for the young people, his peers there. So we think that's a good way, because we have a lot of kids here on the block and on the road, and if we can touch them, I think we'll be assisting the community and government in doing something with our young people.
But this is a big event. I didn't realize it's this big, man.
It is big. It is a big event. It is the naysayers say, I know how you're going to do it, and honestly, we spent some sleepless nights running up and down and trying to get it together. But I have the faith that we're going to get it off successfully.
I'm sure Bobby only have to be very happy now, because he's had so much difficulty getting it off the ground.
Well, I don't know if he's happy. He wants to be here. Bobby Atley is ill right now, and he has temporarily stepped back. He's resigned to let it go ahead, and hopefully he will be here for the night, but he's not on the island right now.
Oh, okay.
But of course, he's been doing this for so long, and this is his brainchild, really. The idea stems from him, and we build it to this. And I think it would be nice if he could be here and witness it, because he's been struggling to get it at this level for quite a while.
And you have a lot of fighters coming in from abroad.
From all over the world, from what we say is from A to Z, because we have one fight out of Zambia. So if we start by Aruba and end up in Zambia, we're from A to Z.
Wow.
No, but we have from the whole Caribbean region. We entered some problems today with Jamaica, because they need a visa, and we have a problem with the visa still. But for the rest, the Caribbean, those that don't need visas, it's pretty simple to get them to come. And we have one fight out of the USA. We have a fighter coming out of Holland. And we have, the rest of it is basically Caribbean people, one from Brazil also. So we have from around the world. That's why we termed it the international tournament. It's the first one we'll be held here in combat sports, and I definitely feel it's going to go down and be successful.
And you mentioned also earlier that the judges are all international judges. So?
Yeah, that's a requirement from the sanctioning bodies that you have trained and professional judges, because they don't want to see any mishaps in these things. So you have to get it sanctioned to be able to do it, because these people may not travel and take part in that. We lost 3 fighters earlier in the week because you have to do hepatitis B and all those tests.
All that have to be done before?
Have to be done. Everything has to be done. And 3 of them, they weren't able to pass the test, so we had to find replacements. And of course, you're required to test before you leave, and you have to test when you come here also. So safety is a main concern, and you have to really get those things in order.
So you've had a lot of work organizing this too, right?
Well, we had some work, but for me, I don't see it as work. If you like something, you have a passion for it, you do it. You don't look at it as work. The only thing is when in the organizing stages, you spend a lot of sleepless nights, because most of the people that wants to meet with you, most of the people that is interested in sponsoring, operate at night. So you go out from 10 and sometimes you get back 2 or 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
But it's worth it if it turns out the way we want it to. If we are able to make St. Martin happy with what we do, then it will be worth it all.
So it's being billed as
St. Martin International Combat Sports Championship.
right.
And it's being presented by the St. Martin Professional Boxing and Mixed Martial Arts Federation, together with Rough and Tough out of Trinidad.
All right, I tell you, we have to go to a break. All right, when we come back, we're going to continue speaking with Mr. Elton Jones right here on Speaking of Everything. Please stay with us. Right back.
In order to know what you want out of life, you need to observe, listen, and try it yourself. Promises, we can make it. If we work together, that's just how it is. Let's stand strong, and serve the land. Working hard as one nation, yes we can. The more difficult it is to achieve, the more satisfying it is to make it. Just believe in us, we'll see you through it all. Oh, never give up. Oh, never give up. We can make it. Never forget those who were there for you. And if you dream big, you might just achieve it. The power to serve, standing for community. OGB got the power to serve, the power to serve. We got the energy. OGB.
Make use of WIB mobile banking with easy access and direct usage of face recognition, PIN code, or fingerprint. Download WIB mobile banking app and make your transaction from anywhere at any time. For more information, visit wib-bank.net/quick-login.
My guest there in Speaking of Everything, Mr. Elton Jones telling us about the big event that's going to be taking place Saturday, the 3rd of December on St. Martin, and it's being billed as
St. Martin's International Combat Sports Championship, the first one, and definitely not the last.
And they're going to be some St. Martiners.
Some St. Martiners going up against powers from outside.
Yeah.
What I would like to do is explain to people how they can get the tickets. Now, for the young people, the apps was about, if you're good in technology, you go on the Keban app, Calaboom, and you can download it. You can pay with your credit card. But for those of us who are not that savvy, there are still outlets where you can go and purchase a hard copy by Van Dorp Edin. And on the front side by the mall, you can get tickets available. We also have executive seating or VIP seats. The general apps, as I said, is $35, but we have seating and tables for the executives, and that's a 6-person table is $1,500. A 4-person table is $800, and if somebody just want to come in, him and his partner or whatever, that is $350. And these can be had, as I said again, on the Cape Bayonet by Calaboom or at Van Dorp Edin, Simpson Bay, or Madam Estate.
All right, so I think they just log on and then they can...
You can log on, get to the app, and you can get it straight over the app, and you pay with a credit card. You don't have to walk around with cash. It's not going to be possible, though, to buy tables at the gate. Tables are pre-sale, so if you're interested in a table, do contact the organization, contact Calaboom, or contact one of the members of the organization. Me personally, I can be reached at 522-1262, and we'll give you the information how to get your table.
Can you repeat that number again, please?
522-1262.
Right. So this is a big event, and I'm happy to see it finally getting off the ground, man.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of work getting it off the ground. We're getting close to the final product or the finished product, and we're asking St. Martin to come out and support the program.
And it's going to be at a very familiar location, venue.
Well, a very familiar location, but honestly, we got to start working on getting a venue where we can hold huge events, because while the auditorium have served us well and will continue to do so, but we need to have a larger place and a more comfortable place to hold events in the future.
Yeah, but I think it's a good start where you are right now, and it's great to see that St. Martin is hosting another international event, because we've done this so often.
We have done it in the past. Well, for us, it's not really invented. We've been here. The only thing new here is MMA, because MMA is the fad now for the last 5 or so years. It's big in the US and Europe. The young people are into it. They're on TV every weekend watching MMA fighters, so they know what it is more than the older folks or the more senior folks who have been around boxing and still want to see their boxing.
Yeah, that's good. So again, it's a great event, and I hope that it will continue. Because I remember having wrestlers.
Oh, I remember we
performed there when Don Hughes brought him into it.
Don Hughes, oh yes.
So we've done our part when it comes to sports on this island.
Well, the promoters have done a great job bringing entertainment to our people, but sometimes you take some terrible losses to bring it, and the support is not there. So, you go, you put out a lot of advertisements and so, but people don't show. So we are asking the people to come out, support this card, come and support your local athletes. We have a habit of complaining about the young people when they do negative things, but here they are in things that are positive, and you can lend your support to the young people.
And by coming out, it makes them happier, makes them fight even better.
Makes them feel a lot better, because nobody wants to be beaten up in front of their home crowd.
Yeah, so so this is going to be the first time we have a mixed
martial art card in St. Martin.
In St. Martin.
Yes.
So it's historic.
It's historic. Yeah. It's epic and historical.
Yeah. So anything else you want to add before we go, because we have just a few minutes remaining?
Okay, I want to thank you for inviting us so we can get the word out. Also, I want to thank all the people who so far have been on board assisting us getting this done. At the event, we'll thank all the sponsors, because they're too many to mention now. But I'm going to plead again to St. Martin to come out and support the event. And you will not be sorry, I guarantee you.
Got to give the time again for those who...
So the match is going to be at the L.B. Scott Sports Auditorium. It's going to be starting at 6 p.m. Gates open at 7. And it is very important to be on time, because we are televising and live streaming. And when you pay for time, you don't get it back. So do be on time. You might miss the bout you just want to see.
All right, so Mr. Jones, I want to thank you for coming. Wish you all much success in this very big international event.
The pleasure's mine. Thank you.
And that's it for now. See you next time right here on Speaking of Everything. Till then, take care. Bye.